I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much, Laura, for inviting me. My name is Ruzanna Chitchyan, and I am an associate professor at the University of Bristol. And what I'm going to talk about today is about skills to transition to clean, renewable powered energy systems. Now, what do we actually mean by clean local energy systems? So this is something that we have been living for quite a long time now, you know, the centralized generation and distribution of energy. And that's what we mean when we say clean, well, renewable based, powered by renewable non-fossil fuel sources, localized, which is to say it is bounded locally rather than at national level as this other one was. And what do we mean by smart? Well, we mean interconnected and optimized so that when you are in this energy system, you are basically doing the best that you can to optimize what you have and not to go over the boundaries of what's available. So that's what we want to be in the future, in clean, smart, local energy system. Actually, we started this project called Energy Revolution with Skills Perspective, trying to understand what kind of skills we need for this kind of energy system. And we said, well, it's actually probably going to be about energy generation and transmission, these kind of things. And then we started looking at the case study of Bristol, and we found that actually it's not. It's also about lots of other things, because energy system turns out to be more than just energy generation and transmission. It's also about community energy groups who also participate in generation and transmission and consumption. It also is about the local government who tells you, for example, in Bristol, you can't have new housing already for the last 7 years or so without having at least 20% of that energy within that house to be generated from clean renewable sources. So the rules and the governance structures that are going within our system comes from there. We are also talking about the building and retrofit services and systems, because actually we're using this energy to heat the houses, and within the houses, whatever we do is powered by energy. So we really need to consider how we build our houses and how do we use the energy inside of the house as well. It's about transport and mobility. Of course, we are more and more becoming electric vehicle society rather than carbon-based, fossil fuel-based society. And it's also about citizens and communities, because, well, you have to get people to use those electric cars. You have to have people to want to live in those zero carbon housing buildings, and you have to have them to participate in energy generation within community energy and so on. So energy system is about all of that. And then if we're talking about transition to clean local energy systems, all of those subparts, all of those subsystems need to be transitioning as well. And of course, I forgot to say that all of those subparts are interconnected with a digital infrastructure that collects the data, analyzes the data, and optimizes the data, and scheduling and generation and consumption activities, and helps us to become more sustainable in our behaviors. So that's where we want to be, that's what we want to do. But what does it imply for the skills that we need for transitioning to these smart local energy systems? Well, as I said, if a system is made out of these subparts, then we need skills in those subparts. We need the car maintenance staff who is able to look into this electric powered car and say, well, that's the fault and this is how to fix it. Actually, these are computers, these are not cars anymore, really. You need to have the building professional who can build a net zero house, who can provide the retrofit service, which is going to be converting the Victorian houses to something which is suitable for us to be living in the future. You need to have people who are installing the solar panels and wind turbines, and also who are making those things. The production of those appliances, of the hardware, of the infrastructure, All of that needs to be happening. But also, we need the skills which cut across all those subparts. So ICT infrastructure needs to connect and interlink and optimize everything across. It doesn't have to just only deal with the transport, but with the transport, with the heating in the houses, with the decisions about heating systems provision. And at the same time, all of those things need to be interconnected with our distribution systems, energy distribution systems. And we need to have policy and regulation which fosters those kind of activities. And we need to have people who have understanding, will, and ability to buy this car, to drive this car, to charge it in the right place and at the right time. So skills within the subsystems and across the subsystems themselves as well. So, for example, when we're looking at the energy subsystem actually itself, you might not be able to read, and it doesn't need to be read, but all I want to say is that a lot of skills, and some of them about engineering. So you need software engineers, you need database systems, data analysts, security professionals, but you also need trade skills to integrate the charge points, install them, install the heat pumps instead of gas boilers, install the smart meters, build those housing. As I said, you need managers who are able to organize and manage the projects which cut across so many different things and bring across so many different parties to work together. You need finance skills to raise the funds and manage the projects, legal skills to know what is or isn't allowed. So for example, in Bristol, we had a case where there was a whole new area of discussion whether or not a charge point for a car is allowed to be installed on a pavement, because legally you have a requirement for it to be within 2 meters, the pavement to be 2 meters, and what happens if you have to install your charge point and it is passing over that limit, you know? So all these things, and of course you need to be able to talk to people, to communicate, to engage the citizens. All of these are essential skills for the future energy systems. So where do we get these skills? Well, you can go to a university, you can take an undergraduate course, choose a project within that course which is focused on developing these green skills themselves. There are things like placement with industrial partners and internships that you can participate in. And well, you don't have to go to university if you don't want to. You can also get a job and train on the job. There are a lot of courses available online. You can ask for certification. There are lots of certification skills development opportunities as well. And one of the things, for example, in the local government, one of the professionals was so excited about the learning they get from going to the conferences and learning from people. That's another way of getting additional skills, and you can do it at home, you know. So you don't have to be university graduate, you don't have to be a fully employed professional, but you can also get those skills at home by, for example, joining community energy projects, for example, Bristol Energy Network or your local energy community projects. You can participate in citizen assemblies and learn from there, and the online courses are very accessible for all levels of education as well. And of course, YouTube is also there as an invaluable resource. So wherever you are, whatever you do, there is always an opportunity to be green, and there is always a place to learn from. So thank you very much. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, what a fantastic start to the talk. Really, just thinking about the sheer breadth of skills and jobs that we need to enable this, to enact this transition. We'll take we'll have a discussion at the end, but I just wonder if anyone has any questions now or anything you'd like to direct to Ruzanna directly.
I did put a few references to some of the things which could be potentially interesting for people. So for example, the Bristol Energy Network has recently published the 10 asks, and this is about the 10 things that we as Bristol Energy interested communities would like our region to be doing. And so there's a document with the asks and the examples of how we can actually achieve those asks. So you can look it up if you want it. And there's of course the reports about the Bristol as a smart local energy system and the specific skills if you are interested in. I really am interested in the engineering part of it. What skills are there that I want to be, you can look up, and the links are again, I'm happy to post it in the chat, and they are also available on the slides, and they will be available from the recording, I'm sure.